This is my Rexon 2500A wood chop saw. And it's great, but the problem with it is when you start it up, it goes straight to full speed with quite a thump. I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be great if it had soft start? So I decided to add soft start to my chop saw. And now when you start it up, rather than trying to jump off the bench, it's now nice and smooth. Okay, so if you want to see how I did it, let's get into the video. As you'll see in a minute in this video, my phone stopped working due to the cold weather, so we're going to have to cut to VoiceOver Man, and you're looking in the editing suite. So I'm just going to try and patch this bit together, all the footage that's now lost on that phone. So this is the existing socket that's on the main circuit. Ignore those two for a minute, so just this one on the left, and then that comes off the consumer unit off a 20 amp circuit there for the garage sockets. And yep, this is what the electrician did. It really annoys me. One day I'll put some nice printed labels, but anyway, job for another day. So this is the existing. Now in the UK you're allowed to put a single double socket off there, or a double socket off there, but no more. If you want to go more, you have to do a fuse spur. So because I was planning ahead, I put my fuse spur in anyway, and then you can add as many, in theory, as many double sockets as you like. I personally wouldn't push it too far, but you know, you are protected in theory by that 13 amp fuse there. Right. So what you missed was the footage of me sorting this little lot out. So I've got some pictures somewhere. There we go. So that's the socket on the right, and leave your comment down below if you like Fargos or not. I love them, been using them for years, no issues, but you know, I know it's a bit of a controversial topic. And then that then feeds this new socket which I screwed onto the wall. So you can see the little unit there. We'll show you a bit more about that in a minute, but you can see how small it is. So the live comes in, connects in through that black cable, and then the live comes out confusingly in blue into the back of the socket, which is live, and then the neutral return is blue, and then there's our earths. So that was that bit, and then so that's all back together, and it looks like that. And then the bit I was going to show you just was the unit itself. I'll just keep some of it off the screen because it's got my address on. And here we go. So that's the unit itself. You can see how cheap it is. So just under £8. It's apparently good for up to 20 amps, 230 volts. And it's just got one wire in and one out. Now I don't know if it matters which way around, but it does actually give you a wiring diagram. So here's the module. Live comes in on black, and then blue is the live out to your load. In my case, it's going to be the motor, and back through. In terms of dimensions, it's pretty small, 22 by 36, or if you prefer to use fractions of people's thumbs, then it's those values there. All right, so pretty good value, good for 20 amps. Does it hold up? We'll find out, but I've now got it installed. So I think at this point, yeah, we've done that. We're back to the video where my phone has stopped working. Normally I film on this phone, it's an old iPhone, and I've put an extra booster battery pack on the back, and that means I can use it around the workshop and it lasts a long time. Trouble is, I've just going to have something to eat and I left it in the workshop for about an hour, and it's really cold in here and the whole thing's gone unresponsive. I've tried to do a reset there, but of course, you know, you can't swipe the screen. I can't type anything in, so I can't start filming. I've just got in the house, left it on the radiator for 20 minutes, and it's quite warm now, but still doesn't respond. So, sorry about the audio. I might have to finish it off on my everyday phone. Yeah, all right, so I'm going to keep that in my pocket. I did try putting it down in front of my trousers. I don't know if I'll include that clip. Look away now if you don't want to see that. But, you know, that didn't warm it up. I took it in the house, as I said, put it on the radiator. It still didn't work. So I'll just stick it back in my pocket and we'll try and finish it up with handheld, because I've got nowhere of plugging in the mic because that's a jack, and this new one doesn't take that. Yeah, your usual stuff. I can't put it on the tripod because that clip doesn't work with this new iPhone. Right. Okay, we're back in the video, so just need to put the fuse in, push that most of the way home, and then this style has a little screw in there. It's got quite a coarse thread on it, and that drives it finally into position, and the fuse is working. Obviously it doesn't come on till you flick that switch. So I thought I'd just do a few little tests here. So I've got a little light that plugs into the socket. So we'll just move that across from the live side onto the fuse spur side. Just a quick test. looks okay. Got it back together. We got the fuse back in there, so the fuse spur is working, so all this should be live. I've just plugged the unit back in there. The soft start unit is down in the corner here. All right, here we go. So basically what it means is, let's take this ear defenders off. All right, so what it means is anything there will be soft start. Now, I'm not going to use them both at the same time. I wouldn't use both saws together. There's only me in the workshop, but in theory it should cope, because that's a 20 something amp capacity, supposedly, on the soft start. So that looks good. Yeah, I'm quite intrigued now. I wonder if I try the Evolution chop saw as well in that socket, and just see if that will soft start as well. Okay, nice tidy job, I'm pleased with that. However, now I've got to clear this mess up. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Okay, it's the end of the soft start bit of the video. I thought you might want to see the tools I use and what I've collated together here for when I put wall plugs in. I thought it's quite nice to have them all in one place, so let's dig in. So we'll start off with this one. This is a nice little level for putting shelves up. Fits nicely in there. I mean, it's only a small, low quality thing, but can do the job. And then I've had comments about this in the past. It's a tiny little hammer. Use it because it, it fits in there nicely. And we've got the usual drills, so these are all masonry. Drilling into brick, breeze block and so on. Now, I did have these all labelled up, but with use the labels have gone, so I probably need to relabel those. Also got some wood and some of these kind of self-starting ones in wood, these little pilot ones, just in case you're going through a wood batten first and then you need to go in with the masonry drill. Speaking of wood battens, we've got these for putting up like posts to put fences on and things like that, although yeah, you can put them in brick walls as well, although concrete screws are all the way to go. We've got all the wall plugs, so I'm low on brown, so one or two down there, red, so I'll probably stock up on that. These are quite good if you want to go into plasterboard. They're like a kind of fishtail on them, really coarse screw, so they won't hold super amounts of weight, but putting lighting up, LED light things, they're fine. And then they got a machine screw thread in there, something like an M5 or something. There's some more in there, very handy. Cable clips as well, and then there's a few miscellaneous screws I've collected over the years just in case, and then the old death stick. Now, I don't use this other than, if I already know it's live, I'm pretty sure it is, if you just want to check something, but I don't rely on it, that's the point. So my methods usually are I plug something into the socket that I'm about to work on, or the bit of the circuit, switch it on, make sure it comes on like a light or whatever, and then also I've got a little electrical circuit or current detector, and when you put it near live cables it makes a little buzz. I'm sure you've seen the kind. So I do two methods to check that it's definitely live. Then I'll go into the house, switch off the consumer unit, come back, make sure that appliance has gone off, check it with the little electrical current detector again, and then for the current detector I go to something that's definitely live and check it's then working, just in case it's failed in those 30 seconds. So that's my kind of approach anyway, because you don't want to touch mains voltage, it's not very nice. Okay, and then the last thing I want to show you is this little marking pen. So this is if you want to mark up a hole, so it can be, obviously you can use a pencil, but sometimes on breeze block and brick it can be difficult to see where the marks are. Well, you're not going to miss this. It's luminous green, and it's a little aerosol can with that ink in it, and essentially got a little safety here, so you just turn that to that point, and then if I press on that, a little quantity of sort of defined amount of green spray just comes out. And there's two types. One is where the focal length is quite short, and then if you've got deeper holes, you've got another one you can use where it's got a slightly different tip here. Really handy. yeah, it's so much better than using pencil. Try it, you won't go back to anything else. Not that expensive either, maybe about £7 for one of these, and it lasts a fair amount of time. So I think that's oh, there's one more. I haven't used this yet. I'm actually thinking about, could have used it on this project, but this is for collecting the dust if you're drilling to brick walls. So you put that against the wall. It's got a little cavity there, and basically when you put your drill in, it's supposed to catch all the dust inside here, so you know it doesn't make a mess everywhere. So I've yet to try that out, but it looks promising. And again, just trying to keep everything in the kit. So if you want to put up shelves or anything that needs drilling into brick, breeze block, whatever, it's all here, apart from the drill obviously, and it saves you scratching around trying to find all the bits and pieces. As you can see, I've tidied it all away and everything's back in its normal place. One thing I want to add is the soft start obviously works on both sockets. So if you soft start, say, the wood saw, and then while it's running, you were to switch on the metal saw, it will probably just go straight to full speed because you've already limited, you know, that current and ramped it up. I did think about putting 2 singles and then having a soft start in each, but I thought I'll just see how I get on first. Because it's very unlikely I'm going to use 2 saws at the same time. They're right next to each other, and would you be cutting wood here with one hand and metal with you? I don't think so. So I think for me, for this application, that's absolutely fine, but it's worth noting that if you were thinking of putting it in a double, you can only use really one at once, or one at any given time. All right, time to sign off here. Hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit scrappy. I think we got there in the end. And with that, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.